Yeah. Shalom Aleichem. Peace be upon you. Hallelujah. All praises to the Most High Yahuwah through His Son Yahushua HaMashiach. It's your brother, Uncle K, and we're back with another one. I hope you all, I hope you all are having a Baruch day. And I hope right now you have a sound mind and a sound heart. Hallelujah. I see somebody's in here. I see a light. That's what I'm talking about. Got brother Akeem in the building. Shalom Aleichem, Mak. Happy to be here as well. Shalom, Christo. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Yes, all praises to the Most High, Yah. Yes, yes, yes. So this live, we're going to talk about how it's extremely important for you to take care of yourself spiritually, mentally, and physically. It's very important. It's very important. And I want to expunge that semen retention is not going to save you from a lot of health problems, a lot of psychological problems, right? It's not going to help you a lot of spiritual problems, but what semen retention does, it addresses those things straightforward because it's a righteous practice, right? So when you start doing righteous things, you need to start taking righteous actions, right? You can't just abstain from sex and think that everything is going to be healed within your being, right? Because we don't primarily we don't think so much about the past, right? But the past does catch up to you if you have been doing a lot of like a lot of destructive things that can break down your body, and you know that when you break down your body it takes a long time to repair, especially if it's not from a physical standpoint, not physical activity, but due to infirmities and things of that nature, right? So say if you had a marijuana addiction and you spend a lot of time smoking, what you need to do is start doing things that's going to strengthen your lungs, right? Start strengthening your lungs, right? When it come down to spiritual things, right? You need to make sure that you hearkening unto the Most High, unto His statutes, unto His scriptures, unto His ways, right? Unto His laws, right? So that way you can find out more about health and longevity. Right now we sipping on some black coffee with some organic cacao powder with about a tablespoon of shilajit, no sugar, no milk, straight raw. It's my second cup, and I'm enjoying it, man. So let me put that mug over there for a second, man. Let me put that mug over there for a second, and let's keep talking. By the way, fellas, let me know if you can hear me great in the live. If the quality is not, chipping and things of that nature. I played back my live earlier, and I was hearing it kind of, kip in the beginning of the video, but then the audio was nice and clear going through further. So let me know if it's not sounding fuzzy or anything like that. Let me know if it sounded clear. I appreciate it. Brother Akeem said 100% got to take care of yourself first, because in these times it's rare to have people take care of you or help you when you get back up when you fall down. I completely agree with that 100%. Right. I agree with that 100%. Because the times we're living in right now, it's so important to take care of your health. You know, in these times right now, we must think realistically, right? The rate that the youth is running on right now, they're not focused on longevity. They're not focused on longevity, right? Health is not even the big picture when it comes down to physical fitness and training. People don't train for longevity. People don't train to have strong bones, a healthy immune system, right? That's why we train. We want to be strong. We want to have longevity, right? See, semen retention is a form of longevity, but you're still gonna have to put in that work. right? In the scriptures, we know that the Most High has given us herbs, right, for our health. So there's a lot of miraculous, wonderful herbs out here to take, man. Right now, the herb that I just incorporated into my repertoire is hawthorn berries. Now, hawthorn berries is such a vast herb that it's primarily great for the heart, right? And we got to take care of our heart, right, fellas? A lot of us used to smoke a lot, a lot. And even if we've been clean for a long time, hey, we still need to make sure that those arteries is unclogged, even based off of nutritional things as well too. We need to make sure that these arteries are not clogged and it's clear, right? Blood, make sure the heart is working more efficient, right? We got to make sure that's good, you know. And hawthorn berries, if the heart is working good, that means you have better blood flow, right? And a little bit more benefits is that it reduces bad cholesterol in your body. It regulates blood pressure as well too. So if you have low blood pressure, what it does, it regulates it and brings it at a good reading. And if you got high blood pressure, it brings it back to a balanced reading. So it's such a great herb, man. And y'all know we have herbs that we use that we cycle, right? Macaru. You got what, ashwagandha. You have olive leaf extract. There's so many herbs out here, man, that we could be taking, that we don't really need to go to doctors for so much drugs per se, because there are drugs. These things don't work with the body, right? It when you take a drug, it does what it's supposed to do. When you take herbs, it works with the body and makes the body more effective, more efficient. Oh, I appreciate that. Sound good? Okay. Where can you find hawthorn berries? I get my hawthorn berry on Amazon. I get it from a brand called Now Foods. This it's no GMOs. It's organic, certified. It's pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. That's what I've been taking so far. It's cost. It's not cost. It's not super costly. It's about how much I paid for this. I paid anywhere from like $6 to $7 for 50 servings. So that's a month. That's maybe a month and a few weeks. So it's pretty good. 50 servings, that's great. That's great. For $6, 7 bucks, that's not bad. Because the majority of my supplements it's like one capsule and it's about 240 servings. So we know that's more than half the year. That's why when I buy my supplements, that's why I purchase it in that way, in that form. So that way I don't have to be buying supplements every month, on the fly like that. You said you're only eating home now and eating fruits for dessert instead of sweets. That's right. That's right. Eat the home foods, man. The home foods is where it's at. We gotta stay away from the high sodium content in these restaurants out here. We may want to go treat ourselves to a nice little meal and dine out every once in a while, but we don't know the context. We don't know the context of the nutrition, unless we ask the chef. And they're gonna put the ingredients, but we need a little bit more. They tell us the calories. Oh, this may have 900 calories. Okay, but what is the breakdown? What is the fats? What is the carbs? What is the protein? How much sodium is in this meal? Because we know that salt is to flavor the food. Salt is also to preserve the food, and salt is also for sacrifice as well. So we don't know what they're doing, man. That's right. That's right. That's right. We don't know the iniquities that they put in our food. That's right. That's why we don't eat out. That's why we don't eat out, man. Might be casting a whole ton of spells on the foods, man. Ooh, this thing hit, man. It's a certified strong drink right there. So yeah, fellas, we gotta take care of ourselves spiritually. When it comes down to spiritual manners, the scriptures, it's life, man. It's life. It gives you a lot of clarity. It gives you a lot of direction. You know, it gives you everything that you could look for, man. everything that you could look for. When you read in those scriptures, you get so much examples and so many things that you could apply to your current walk. It's a book of life. You're not gonna, you don't, there's no need to really go out extensively and look for books that's gonna teach you about psychological warfare. When you could read the book of Proverbs and read the book of Ecclesiasticus, the book of Sirach, and it could tell you crystal clear about psychological warfare. But spoken in such wisdom, right? Spoken in such clarity that we don't need so much examples like a lot of these authors that's in the world that like to take stories from other people. But when we read these scriptures, it's real things that occur with people of importance per se, right? People of importance that was used by the Most High, right? So, we gotta make sure that we hearkening unto these scriptures and hearkening unto the voice of the Most High Yahuwah, especially in these times, man, because this world is trying to take you away from spiritual matters, and real concrete spiritual matters. I'm not talking about, getting a bunch of like crystals and stuff like that and getting a mystery ball, clear crystal ball, and rubbing it and letting somebody read your palms and reading tarot cards. Like, nah, we're not talking about that because they promote that. They promote that in Babylon. They promote that in this system. Now we talking about hearkening unto the Most High Yah, following after His laws, following after His statutes, commandments, His ways, right? Staying away from the immoral things of the world, putting away iniquities. That's what we got to hearken unto. That's what we got to stay into, right? And you could tell the damage that the world has done to the people. You could see it. A lot of people are destroyed. The customer service isn't good anymore in most of these places too. Yeah, that's why we don't go out. You know what I'm saying? We ain't worried about we ain't worried about them, man. A lot a lot of people. Hold up, pardon me, fellas, pardon me. People real chaotic out here, man. Man, these females be so feminine, bro. See, tell you, man, these women out here, man, they don't got no self control, man. I'm trying to get some edification, man. You got you got these broads out here just yelling, man. Man, I'm trying to let it de-escalate real quick so I can just continue. Cause I don't like a lot of like loud noise. No, they be crazy. Yo, yo, this stuff is stupid, man. It's crazy. Hey, this mic is picking up all that, right? Y'all can hear all that loud bickering in the back, right? It's crazy, man. But anyway, I ain't worried about that really. I don't like a whole bunch of noise. But yeah, yeah, that's why the customer service at these places, man. That's why we don't really go to different environments and eat foods from per se different cultures. If it's clean, but still, we don't. It's periods and times in our life where we might have to, but we still gotta take that with a grain of salt. For real, customer service these days, man, is pitiful. Hey, don't retract the message, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm glad, man, because if I didn't have the mic on, the phone could pick up way more noises than the mic. It's a sound, it's a noise canceller kind of mic. So I'm glad that it didn't pick it up all the way. But man, when them bros out here arguing, man, they could go on for hours. They'll never stop. Yeah, it sounds like a Spanish household. Man, so brother Ox said, was reading the KJV in the morning, felt so alive, reading scriptures at home on a sunny afternoon with some black coffee. Yeah, that's beautiful right there. That's the scene right there, man. You know, I was last night. I was reading out of First Samuel's because I'm taking my time right now, really reading through the scriptures, reading through the whole entire Torah, up all the way, all the way. So, man, it was so beautiful reading the scripture, man. The way how, the way how the people of Yisrael, when Shaul, when he was the king, right, when he was the king at the time, and how they were so faint-hearted, right, so scared, so fearful of the Philistines, right, the Peshtiim, right. It was so in fear of him, man. And David, he had got anointed already, right. He had no fear. The Most High, when he was looking for David was only a little youth, and he was already a man of war. He already took down a bear. He already took down a lion with his own hands to protect his flock, to protect the sheep, man. And I was reading that last night, and let me tell you, man, it's such a beautiful thing because and we got to look at this, right? A lot of the enemies, right? Yahuwah delivers them into our hands, right? That's a beautiful thing to know, right? That enemies get delivered into your hands. Now, with that being said, is that's the reason why a lot of the enemies, at the end of the day, they're gonna become servants to us, right? We stay with Yahuwah. Yahuwah puts them in submission, man. You don't need to be out here really fighting all day, trying to throw fists and jabs at these people out here. You know, honestly, they can't even take a physical hit. You know, so let Yahuwah just break them down. You know, yeah, this world is will trying to make you crash out. They got no self control out here. Yep, yep. That's right. This world wants to take you away from spiritual matters so that way they could break down your mind. And when they break down the mind, you know, they could tear up the whole body, right? And speaking of that too, it's the same reason why Shaul, when the Most High, when the Most High dethroned him, right, of his throne of king, Yahuwah put an evil ruach in him, right? That's why he couldn't be settled. He had no peace. And Dawid, he played the harp, and he had to bring peace, right? So that's exactly what's happening to this whole land right now. If we look at it, right, a lot of people have an evil walk in them, right? They can't function properly, right? And let me tell y'all, man, it's crazy as a man to see people walking amongst us in the streets with these phones in their hands and their heads are just down, right? Minds are gone. Their minds are gone. They're gone. They're gone. Their minds are gone, man. Their minds are gone. Telling y'all, they don't focus on spiritual matters, so they have no discernment. They gone. You have two individuals walking past each other simultaneously, and both got their head downs looking at phones. Right? It's crazy these days, man. And now, when it comes down to the physical body, a lot of people are not taking care of their health, man. A lot of people are not taking care of your health, and that's why when we talk about semen retention, we don't talk about semen retention for a million type of benefits. Semen retention equates to longevity at the end of the day. When you start doing things inwardly, you are supposed to be thinking about longevity, right? You're not supposed to be running around talking about, man, I'm feeling good, I'm looking good, and all this and that. Yeah, that comes with it, right? But you have to do things in longevity. You have to take care of your health. You have to take care of your heart, take care of your lungs, take care of your kidneys, take care of your digestive system, take care of your intestinal tract. Put in those probiotics, those prebiotics, those digestive enzymes. Put those things into your body, right? Get some of them good herbs. Get that maca root, that horny goat weed, right? That olive leaf extract, right? Maybe a little bit of dandelion root every once in a while, right? Because we know that's a natural diuretic. So you don't want to really excrete all water out your body. But if you want to go in a detox, you know, you could do that, right? Maybe do it for like 1 or 2 days, right? Because it's a natural diuretic. You don't want to dehydrate yourself and urinate all your electrolytes, right? Because you know you could cramp up, you get dehydrated extremely fast with diuretics, right? Now, you know, and the hawthorn berries, good for the heart, right? We gotta be take care of ourselves, fellas. We gotta take care of ourselves because when you it don't matter, right? It don't matter how long you've been on this lifestyle change. We gotta think, right? Whatever you reap, you sowed, right? So let's think. If we was living a vile, a real horrendous lifestyle in the past, smoking a ton of weed, drinking alcohol, those things was breaking down our bodies. We need to, on top of us having those extra vitamins and resources in our vessel right now, we need to step it up and take care of ourselves a little bit extra, right? A little bit more extra. And we know that herbs are a great thing, right? I hope all of us we're not taking no medications, right? So if we don't taking no if you're not out here taking no medications, then you can take herbs, right? Because you know what they say, oh, contact your healthcare physician and all this. You be taking medications or whatever like that. We're not taking no medications, right? We're not. So let's make sure that we take care of our health, brother. Keep it up. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Most high willing, I'll keep it up, man. Truth be told, I was gonna record a video, but I was like, nah, let me go live. But yeah, we're gonna keep it up. We're gonna keep it up. Cause he said facts. I told an interview I'm an Israelite and I'm moving on to the next stage. That's right. That's right. They like to on these when you're doing these interviews, they like to see if you can identify yourself as a so-called black African American. You're gonna identify as Caucasian, identify as Hispanic, identify as Indian, whatever like that. Look, I go straight to the other. That's what I go. I go to the other. I don't need to clarify. That's the thing. You don't gotta clarify. Maybe like other. Like, man, what's the other? What are you? Man, we tribe talking over here, man. Tribe of Yehuda from Yashrael. We get busy on this side. When it's time to go to war, it's always like about 20,000 of us going straight out with the other nations. They be like, hey, go to Yehuda, get 20,000. We need 20,000 Yehuda. They strapped. hey, hey, let's get them. Let's go. Let's go. Peace, family. Shalom. Danny, good to see you. All right? Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, facts. You got to give them a cold shoulder the minute they open their mouth on some foolishness from a distance. Yeah, man. You can see foolishness from a mile away as well too. That's why we keep our mouth closed and we be about our business. We go about and we take care of what we got to take care of. We make sure those doors are closed, man. You know, there's always gonna be a few that's gonna try to be a stumbling block, right? Because we know that we are sent to this world to also help the sick, right? Just like Yahusha. Yahusha was sent here, right? Not for the righteous, but for the sick, right? So when you take on the righteousness of the Most High, right, and Yahusha is your head, we technically are here for the sick as well too, right? So those that sick, they be coming to us sometimes. You need a little direction. Hey, how do I get to here? How do I get there? Do you know where I could find the closest this, the closest that? We be like, all right, hold up. I don't know for sure, but let me look it up for you real quick. You take time out of your boom, boom, boom. You look it up real quick. You be like, all right, okay. You go down here. You make a left, 2 blocks. It's right there. They be, oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. You know, but when it come down to people trying to break bread with you and try, ask you, just utterly foolish questions, you dismiss it and keep it moving. Sometimes people be trying to holler at you sometimes, like, hey man, hey, hey, hey. You be like, just keep it moving. You don't stop. You don't yell no you don't first of all, when it come down to somebody trying to speak to you in these streets, nobody's it's very rude and it looks foolish when you're yelling, right? When you're yelling at another man, like, hey, 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 it's real rude. It's like yelling out somebody's name in the broad street. Like that's rude, right? We rebuke that type of actions. Keep it moving. Yeah, no communication skills at all. The phone is their G word. Yeah, real talk, man. People be out here really walking around with the phones looking down all day, man. And we gotta make sure that we using these and you see that's something we gotta think too. It's called cell phone. Wow. The body is primarily made up of so many cells, man. And do you know that this phone emits a lot of radiation when you have it in super duper close proximity to you? And it damaged cells, man. That's why it's called cell phone. It's a damager. People don't know that, but it does. It damages you. As a man, you're not supposed to be having no phones in your pocket. You know, that's gonna disrupt your testicular function as well too. A lot of studies shows that people that hold their phones in their pockets and back pockets, and women that like to put their phones in their bras, and now they got women out here with leggings on that um got like pockets on the side and things like that. It the radiation is very cancerous as well too, very cancerous. We gotta make sure that we being wise about it, man. When I leave my house and I know my family is good and I'm going out to handle business, my phone is on airplane mode. And I tell my wife, I'm like, hey, when I leave this house, my phone on airplane mode. So don't think for 1 second if I take too long handling what I gotta handle that something is wrong. I say, look, just know, just pray for me. Yahuwah is with me. If I gotta protect myself, just know I'm with it. So don't worry. I said, hey, baby, if anything happens, just know, just know you're still good. You know what I'm saying? Because when you leave the house and you put your phone on airplane mode, that minimizes all the radiation on your phone too. Because even like these days, they push the phones that have 5G now. That's already emitting radiation already. Now, when you have the Wi-Fi on and the Bluetooth on, the radiation is pushing at a much higher rate. And when you put it on airplane mode, it's not really. When you put a radiation device next to the phone that's on airplane mode, it's not even picking up much. Really not. Even like maybe bare minimal, but some of the studies that I've shown, because I have the iPhone X, so I saw a study with the iPhone X. I saw somebody testing it with the iPhone X, and I saw no radiation was coming from the phone when it was on airplane mode. So I was like, okay, cool. Some people be sleeping with the phone right next to them, and all that. You wake up with a full blown headache, man. Gotta be careful. Yeah, medication is poison. That's right. Grown man Chop told. That's right. Off that black coffee, shilajit and cacao. I'm about to bust me down the egg sandwich in a few. Yeah, yeah. Put it in a bag or leave it at home if you don't need it. Right. That's right. That's right. These people be wasting their times on the phones, man. Because if we look at the screen time on our phones, it tells us how many hours we've been on the phones and what apps we've been using a lot of time on. And if you have a significant amount of screen time and you ain't doing nothing with it, then you're wasting your time, right? You're wasting your time. If you know you've been using your phone and you look at the screen time, you're like, okay, I've been getting 5, 6 hours worth of knowledge, worth of information, right? Compared to people that got like 14 out, 14 out, 14, 15 hours worth of screen time. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. That's ridiculous. 15 hours with the screen time, man. You burnt out, burning out. Yeah, semen retention, man. You're gonna have to make sure that you putting in that work to take care of your health. You can't just rely on semen retention and just think that everything is gonna be healed from a molecular, standpoint, right? It's not gonna be fully healed, but the body is pushing to get to that state of perfection, right? It's pushing to get to that point, and you're gonna have to put things in the body to make it more efficient. That's why we take supplements, man. We have supplements, and on top of the supplements, we need natural things as well too, right? Because we got to think too that certain supplements, we got to think, right? Like the creatine and things like that. It's a synthetic form of the natural, right? It's a synthetic form. Now, the studies show that it doesn't hurt your body really. The synthetic form of things don't really hurt your body, but it's good to get the natural herbs. You can't get synthetic herbs, right? Those things are too natural. Yeah, you saw that. You saw that, right? That's why I say where the world is going, right? You see that, right, Akeem? Jokers, man. So I say they waste their time. They waste their time all day long. And And that's why we look at the state of the world, and if one is speaking like that, then we know a million is speaking like that. That's why we don't partake in the things of the world, man. A lot of these people, you know, just goofy activity, man. So people out here trying to get a new iPhone every couple of months. A phone is a phone, man. Right? It don't matter if you got the 17 or the 5. Don't let this stuff control you. Yeah, I've been having the same phone for so many years now. Still got the X, man. I think what are they up to now? I don't know what number. I think like 16, 12, something like that. I don't even know. 16, 17, iPhone, whatever. Nah, man, I got the same one. If it don't break, then I don't need to go get a new one. People be updating. Talking about, man, they got a new camera, man. They got a new. It does the same thing. I remember back in the day when you got a. I remember I got my first phone. My mother bought me my first flip phone when I was 16, man. It was a flip phone. You got call and text. That's it. Call and text, man. That's all you got. Call and text. And if you went on the internet, I think it was I think it actually ran up the bill if you went on the internet back in the day with the flip phones. If you went on the internet to do like look up whatever and to stream whatever, it added more money to the bill, man. So you see that's the reason why they created the unlimited, right? Unlimited text, call, and data. So you can just be on it all day now. You just be on it all day now, but ain't doing nothing. It's like what's going on, man? The You need data, you need the brain, you need the mind to be functional, right? You need your body to be having all that data to make it work more efficient, right? That's why when you start abstaining your semen retention, you got all that information. All of that is working in your body now. You got everything you need. Everything is cycling now, right? You have old cells is dying, new cells being born, right? Old cells dying, new cells being born. That's how we supposed to be putting these things in our bodies. For real. Yeah, reprobates, man. Reprobates. Yeah, if you don't break, hold up. If it don't break, then we good. Money still yeah, we still good money. We still in shape. That's right. That's right. That's right, man. I said, Clyde, what's good, Clyde? He said, me and my pops were saying the same thing when the new hold up when the drop a new phone, they make our phones malfunction. Oh yeah, yeah. Sometimes right, they make it malfunction. They make it glitch. They make it twitch. For real, they be telling and since I know I got one of the like an older model of iPhone, right? They always pushing updates. I'm like, yo, I haven't updated in so long, man. That I know if I update it, I bet all the apps gonna look different. I bet everything gonna change. The format, everything gonna change. That's right. They push them bugs or whatever they want to. It's crazy, right? It's crazy, you know. Man, hey Clyde, man. Yeah, you saw what happened, right? The Syntake, man. May the most high Yah, give him rapid healing, man. Rapid healing. You know, man, that thing had me kind of shook, man. When I saw it, I was just like, man, I was just like, bruh. I had no words at first, man. Had no words at first, and I was just kind of stuck, just like, whoa, you know. Yeah, hate that happened. Yeah, for real, man, for real. That's why it make you think. When we could be doing all this semen retention and all that, feeling good and all that, but we still gotta take care of our health, man. We really gotta look into things that we doing on a micro level, you know, on a real micro level. Man, you know, that's why I say, we got herbs, man. We got herbs, natural herbs and things that we really need to be utilizing. We really need to be utilizing these things for real. We really need to be sticking up on our health, because semen retention is for longevity. So that way we always think about longevity, right? I have a I have a plethora of supplements that I take that's just for longevity, man. And that's why I just added that hawthorn berry. And I didn't have any symptoms of heart. things and high blood pressure and things like that. But you know, I know some family members that do, and I was just like, I got that. I saw that supplement. It was promoted by I saw it by a bodybuilder called Robbie Robinson, right? Robbie Robinson. He was talking about the Hawthorne Berry real quick. He's like, yeah, I take the Hawthorne Berry, and he didn't expunge too much on the benefits, right? So I did my own research, and I saw that it unclogs arteries. It makes the heart work more effectively, right? It 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 removes it improves the gauge of the heart, right? It's two gauges of the heart. There's a left gauge and a right gauge. The left gauge is what pushes most of the blood out, the nutrients out to make it circulate, right? So what the Hawthorne berry does, clear out more. It clears out the left one even more, and it makes it work more efficiently, right? So and it reduces if you have it regulates your blood pressure too. That's something that we gotta take. We gotta take, man. It don't matter what if you got melanin, no melanin. Look, man, you gotta take care of your health, man, for real. Because this stuff is real, man. So if you got high blood pressure or low blood pressure, it regulates it. It it reduces bad cholesterol in your body and increases the good cholesterol in your body. It destroys free radicals. So it's good to take it every other day. Especially it's good to take it on the days that you're resting from training, or after you finish training. It's good to take like 3 to 4 hours after, because the free radicals in the body after you training it's what promotes the growth mechanisms in your body. So you don't want to take an antioxidants as soon as you finish training, and it destroys those good those good those good radicals in that body, man. So yeah, you don't want that. Yeah, the body. Yeah, you gotta keep the body moving. That's right. Even on a rest day, you gotta hit a couple reps and some push ups. Just to keep that heart moving. You know, do some pull ups if need be. Keep that heart moving. So every time I get on our bus, every time I get on the bus or train, everybody on the phone. Yeah, everybody's always on the phone, man. On the phone, killing themselves, bad posture, head hunched over, shoulders rounded forward, unhealthy, man, unhealthy. So he looks semi-healthy to me, but maybe there were underlying habits and conditions. Yeah, it could always be those things, man. Um, yeah, I'm not really talking too much about brother lifestyle. I did hear once he said he eats one meal a day. Now, if you're eating one meal a day and you're doing strenuous activities, that could reduce. That could. I don't think that's primarily very healthy for you eating one meal a day, because that can mess up your hormonal production as well too. You need fats in order to keep your testosterone high. You your blood glucose level is not being regulated, because without the blood flow, no, without a form of energy, your blood pressure could drop too. All those things play a big role. That's why we got to eat for longevity, eat for health. It's not about gluttony. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't deem anyone for whatever lifestyle they choose to eat, right? And when it comes down to eating, it's not about, oh, because I eat meats I'm better than you, because you eat veggies I'm better than you. Let's talk about the one meal a day. One meal a day honestly can't sustain you throughout the whole entire day, because that energy is going to drop. And when those glucose levels drop and you need something to pick you back up, and you feel your blood pressure drop, and that's why sometimes you feel super lethargic and low throughout the day. Eat a banana, right? Get some protein in, you know what I'm saying? Little things like that. You know, you gotta, and you can't be really training every single day. You could to an extent, but it's good to split that up. You gotta take time to rest as well too. But still be doing some mobility work. Still do like some resistant band stretching. Still do something. Still do just something to keep the muscles primed and ready. There's a study that shows it was firefighters that did 40 push-ups a day. 40 push-ups a day. It reduced being prone for like a rate of like death by 70%. So just by doing 40 push-ups a day, you know, it increases your span of living life 70%. In a sense, it's like you're doing CPR on yourself. You know, you hit a push up, you pushing. It's like CPR, man. And you got to eat fruits and vegetables. Eat some tomatoes. Tomatoes look like a heart. Come on, antioxidants. Eat some greens. You know, eat some avocados. You know, gotta do a lot, man. But you know, I'm glad. You know, brother doing good though. Glad he doing good now. Glad because I could think for a while too, man. You know, I got hospitalized too in the past, and I was on semen retention. You know, at the time, I was sleeping in my car at the time. So, you know, if you're sleeping at night and you don't have the seats pulled back, you know, you're just sitting straight, your blood is not circulating, right? You're sitting down in the chair, so blood is not going to your heart and going back down, right? So that's dangerous. So that leaded to a blood clot. You feel me? And then that leaded almost to a what was it called? A pulmonary embolism. It almost led to that, you know? And then I was like, all right, cool. It's a wrap. Then I got him on my health tip, boom, 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 got right, but don't kind of stopped sleeping in the car. I was like, you know what? I was just trying to stack my bread, you know? So, you know, I was like, all right, cool. Let me go to the Airbnbs now. Let me just start going to Airbnb because after I train, I would shower, be in the car, walk around for a little bit. I used to do 10,000 steps a day. Regardless of that, it wasn't enough, right? So then I had to, you know, just make sure that I'm in a place where I could lay down and stuff like that. You know, make sure I'm eating properly and things of that nature. So, I told you, man, semen retention, you gotta do your part. You know, you gotta do your part because it's just a wake up call, right, to your body to like, hey, it's time for you to pick it up. It's time for you to get it stepping. Right? You can't be sitting down for too long thinking that, you know, just because I'm on retention, I'm the healthiest man living. Yeah, you start feeling healthy, right? Because your body is responding to what you're doing, right? But you gotta make sure that you're doing it. And that's spiritually too. You gotta make sure that you're in them scriptures. You gotta make sure you're in that praying bag. You gotta make sure that you hearkening unto the voice of Yahuwah, right? Reading his scriptures, right? Little by little, precept on precept, right? Don't overwhelm yourself, but still read because it's edifying to just be in that word because that word is spirit, right? You when you reading that word, you're in the presence of the Most High, and that's why you feel good when you read it, right? And take care of that mind too. That mind, we can't be out here just you know entertaining things that's gonna destroy our minds. We can't be out here watching things that's disrupting our mind, disrupting our peace. We got to keep that all on point because if you take the peace away from a man, you take a lot away from him for real. So we really, King said, we really gotta take care of the heart. Just because you're good today doesn't guarantee you'll be good tomorrow. Start today, right? We only got today. We only got today. That's all. The most like grace is given. Grace is not something that's earned for real. Yeah, you fruit fast often now with red fruit. Yeah, you about to cop that hawthorn berry now. That hawthorn berry is game changing. I took some today. I took 2 capsules today. I just started feeling it immediately. I'm like, man, I'm starting to feel good, man. Start feeling good. I guess my wife making some chicken. Hold on, let me double check. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wife making that stew chicken, man. I didn't even know she was starting the chicken. I would have went in there and seasoned it up. Well, that's what's up though. Wife busting that chicken down. We about to eat. Man, plantains on me. Plantains on me. What's up, Joey O face? What's up? What's going on? Shalom. Yeah, we eat for strength. That's right. Hey yo, don't be coming up. Hey man. I don't know if y'all can see it, but when they comment stuff, they be talking crazy. You be talking crazy. I'm about to get Joey your face up out of here, man. He talking crazy. Yeah, definitely gotta stay loose for real. So I choose. So I stay loose. Man, these dudes, bro. Yo, hey, yo, man. What's up with these jokers, man? These jokers, man. You know, when you got a perverted mind, that showcases a lot about yourself. I just gotta point that out. I really gotta point that out, man. You know, when you got a perverted mind, somebody say something, and you gotta crack a joke about something like that. That tells you where you at. That tells you where you at, man. That tells you where you at. Another grown man says something to you about a banana, and you'll take that into a whole. You'll take that left field talking about a banana. For real? Like, what's going on, man? So I say, a lot of people out here, man. They gone, man. They gone. They gone, man. They gone. They gone. All red fruits gotta heal the blood. Yeah, pomegranates, tart cherries, tomatoes, right? Man, even a mango. A mango got a little bit of red in it, in the skin. The skin, yeah, the skin a little bit. Got a little bit of red in it, you know. Strawberries. Yeah, man. It's the good stuff. What's your opinion on praying over your food? It's very important to pray over your food. Very important to pray over your food. It's very important to pray and give thanksgiving unto the Most High. You know? Yeah, man. Yeah, I got back healthy some years ago, man. That happened in 2022 at the time. 2022, man. Yeah, it was eye opening. It was eye opening, man. Very eye opening. I had IVs on my arm and everything like that. They had to put some solution through my blood into like so much like stuff. But I was only in there for like maybe like 2 days. Yeah, but I'm glad though, man. Sleeping in a car will really test your manhood, especially in them late hours when you got to doze off. Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's why I was so hungry, man. Like so hungry. Like out here just really pushing myself to the limit. Like I was getting good rest at night, but when it came down to the body, not so much because I was just working out nonstop every day, every day, every day, every day, every day. I was just in the gym, in the gym, in the gym, working, 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 working. Hold on, yo. What happened? Oh, shit. Hey, 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 hey. Okay. Hey, Joseph. Come here. Come here. Come here. Okay. Well, drink your juice. All right. Yeah. Yeah, I was at it, man. Super hungry. Body wasn't getting a lot of rest, but I was getting sleep, right? An adequate amount of rest. But I was in the gym just training every single day, 7 days a week. Wasn't taking a day off. It was but what was fueling me was the adversity that was fueling me. Right? I wasn't breaking or folding for anything. So the adversity sometimes could push you to an extent to really get the job done. You know. So adversity When you fall in the midst of adversity, that shows that your strength is weak. But if you stay strong and you just kick it up to another notch, when you're going through adversity, man, it's yeah, game time. Real. Can't be out here listening to weak content creators talking about that glow. For real. Save that. Save that for the dudes who want to rap in their blanket. Yeah, and eat cookies with milk. That's right, man. That's right. For real. For real, them chestnut cookies. Yeah, you already know what it was, man. I was in the car, man. Let's go. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yup. And let me tell you, man. Let me tell you. Some people say that, they miss that form. Hey, that form is always there. That form is always there, man. See, when I get on this camera, I'm really being myself. So that same aggression, that's how I really move. That's that that's that passion in me just for life. That's that passion for me. That's that passion in me that when I know I gotta fight for something, I'm gonna fight for it. That's that passion, right? I take that same passion when I go into the gym. I take that same passion when I'm out here walking or go handle business when I'm going to the store, something like that. That's that same passion I walk with, right? So cool. If people get intimidated by the way I move and the way I walk, that's their problem. I'm not here trying to intimidate nobody, right? Because we got to work out our own salvation with fear and trembling, right? So the way that we move, it speaks volumes. It speaks how focused we are as a man. It speak. It just speaks so much volumes because we move with passion, right? We believe in the Most High Yah, and that gives us passion to keep going and to dig deep, right? Dig real deep. Yeah, we forever evolving for the Most High, right? Through the Mashiach, yeah, we evolving. So we gotta know that you're in a new chapter with the same passion. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Same passion. It's just a new chapter for real. For real, man. I like that. I like the way you put that, man. So yeah, we're coming down to an end on this live right now. The base of the live is that look, we gotta take care of ourselves spiritually, mentally, and physically. We can't negate any of those, man, because the world is trying to take you away from that. The world's trying to take you away from Yahuwah, away from his laws, his statutes, commandments. And they're trying to push a whole different narrative to you to think that just about everything is spiritual. Meaning like, you know, from a worldly view, right? You drive around in certain parts of the cities, you see psychics. They got a whole psychic business talking about come get your palm reading. They got a number to call and all that. Tarot card readings. You know, um, rubbing crystal balls, all that different type of stuff, man. They pushing all different types, man. They be out in the park doing yoga. All different types of stuff, man. But they promote that. The world promote their form of spirituality, but they won't promote the law, statutes, and these commandments. They won't push that, right? Number two, we can't allow them to take that piece away from you mentally. Because if they take that piece away from you, then they got you. Right? You take the piece away from a man, and they could break down your whole entire life, man. Right? When you take the piece away from a man, now he's running to external things to bring him pleasure, right? To bring him to a form of comfortability, to compress what has transpired, right? So you take the piece away from a man, boom, he's looking for sexual pleasure. He's up and down the streets, heavy feet, looking for a quick thrill. And if he can't get it on the phone, if he can't get it in the physical, then he's gonna get it on the phone. He's gonna get it digitally, right? And primarily, a lot of men are just sticking to the digital, right? That's why they don't get it physically, right? So, and number three, we gotta definitely take care of our health, man. We could be in this gym training all day long. We gotta make sure that we doing it right. We gotta make sure that we intaking good herbs that's functional for our bodies. That's gonna take care of our self internally, right? You want to be doing things for longevity, right? We just don't want to take things just to, okay, this is what's gonna help me build muscle. Like this is what's gonna help me like put on size. Like this, that. Nah, we need particular things. Pardon me. We need particular things as well too. Right, we gotta take care of our cellular structure. We gotta take care of our DNA, right? We gotta take care of our joints. We gotta take care of our gut health, right? Intestinal tract, right? We gotta make sure that we get in that fiber, right? Because if you're not getting in that fiber, that means what? You have a lot of waste that's still in your digestive tract, right? That's still in your intestinal tract that still needs to get pushed out. So you gotta make sure that you get in that fiber in, right? You got to make sure that you're taking care of them lungs, take care of them kidneys, take care of that heart, right? Take care of your eyes, take care of your skin, take care of everything, man. Because it's about longevity. It's about longevity. Yeah, give a man 2 plates. You most likely choose the plate with sexual immorality. That's a fact. That's a big fact right there. Right, got to get them parasites out that stomach for real. Kick them out, kick them out for real. Kick them out. So I'm glad y'all tapped into the live. You already know. Hold on. Yeah, I'm glad y'all tapped into another live. It was a great live. Appreciate everybody that came on the live, liked the live. Appreciate those that was very active as well too. When you guys dropping them comments down, giving your input on things, man, it means a lot because we're able to engage with one another. I'm glad I'm starting to do more lives as well too, so that way we can speak directly to one another. Even though it's a live and I'm just reading what y'all writing, we still are technically breaking bread with one another, because we are in the midst of one another. And if multiple of us is in the midst with the faith, the Most High Yahuwah through His Son Yahusha, then He's in the midst, and then we feel very uplifted afterwards, and we feel strong, and we feel edified, and then we continue to get edified afterwards because we're always seeking after edification on a nonstop basis, man. So once again, appreciate y'all for tapping into another live. Shalom Aleichem. Peace be upon you. Hallelujah. All praises to the Most High Yahuwah through His Son Yahushua HaMashiach. Man, y'all have a Baruch night, Baruch day, whatever time it is, man. Y'all just stay Baruch for real. Keep a sound mind and a sound heart at all times. Take care of your health, spiritually, mentally, and physically. All right. And I'll see you all soon, Most High willing. But for now, peace. Peace, everybody. Peace out.